Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from SABA satellite channel from Marib. Here are tonight's top stories.
PLC member Al Arada urges global action against Houthi threats to Red Sea shipping.
Parliament condemns attack on Saudi oil facilities, backs kingdom security.
Prime Minister Zindani prioritizes aid in recovery through reform, services and institutional renewal.
Welcome back. We begin in Marib, where member of the Presidential Leadership Council, Sultan Al Arada, called for stronger international action to stop Iran's support for the Houthi militia and its threats to regional and international security. During a virtual meeting with China's Trade Affairs Zhao Cheng, Al Arada urged the international community to pressure Iran to end its backing of the Houthi militia and stop attacks targeting commercial shipping in the Red Sea and Bab al-Mandab. He said the militia has expanded its activities beyond Yemen by threatening Saudi Arabia and international maritime trade, warning that continued escalation jeopardizes regional stability and global economic interests. Al Arada also called on China to continue supporting United Nations efforts and the implementation of international resolutions aimed at restoring stability and protecting freedom of navigation.
In regional developments, the Yemeni parliament condemned the attempted drone attack targeting oil facilities in Saudi Arabia's Sharqiya and Riyadh, describing it as a terrorist act that threatens regional security. In a statement, Parliament expressed full support for all measures taken by Saudi Arabia to safeguard its security, sovereignty and territorial integrity, stressing that the kingdom's security is inseparable from Yemen's own security. The statement said the Houthi militia's claim of responsibility for the attack, despite evidence that it was carried out by Iran-backed militias in Iraq, reflected Iran's use of proxy groups to destabilize the region and drag Yemen into broader conflicts. Parliament stated the continued involvement of the Houthi militia in such actions demonstrates disregard for the safety and interests of the Yemeni people, while exposing the country to greater regional risks. The statement concluded by reaffirming that ending the Houthi coup, restoring state institutions and returning the capital Sana'a to government control remain essential to safeguarding Yemen's sovereignty, protecting regional security and ensuring the safety of international waterways.
In a related context, the Saudi cabinet strongly condemned attacks by Iran-backed militias in Yemen and Iraq targeting oil facilities in Riyadh and Sharqiya, as well as commercial vessels in the Red Sea. Meeting under the chairmanship of the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman, the Saudi cabinet reaffirmed that the kingdom will not tolerate threats to its security, national interests or strategic infrastructure, pledging a firm response to any hostile attacks in accordance with international humanitarian law and the principle of proportionality. The cabinet also called on the Iraqi government to take all necessary measures to prevent its territory from being used as launchpad for attacks against Saudi Arabia, while commending the broad international condemnation of the attempt strikes intercepted by the kingdom's air defenses.
The meeting reviewed Saudi Arabia's ongoing diplomatic efforts with regional and international partners to reduce tensions, contain regional escalation, and safeguard maritime navigation in the Arabian Gulf and the Red Sea. It also reaffirmed the kingdom's commitment to dialogue, diplomacy, and international cooperation, stressing the importance of regional order based on respect for state sovereignty, non-interference in internal affairs, good neighborly relations, freedom of navigation, and adherence to international law.
In Aden, Prime Minister Zindani reaffirmed that the interim capital remains at the forefront of the government's priorities as the administrative center of the state and the cornerstone of institutional recovery. Meeting with Minister of State and Aden Governor Abdulrahman Sheikh and local authority leaders, Azandani said the government is working closely with local authorities to improve essential services, strengthen security, and address long-standing institutional challenges. He stressed that restoring public confidence depends on building effective, accountable institutions that operate under the rule of law, describing institutional reform as a battle equal in importance to restore state authority and ended the Iranian Pact Houthi. The Prime Minister directed the preparation of a joint government local authority action plan to improve public services, rebuild institutions, upgrade infrastructure, encourage private sector investment, and restore Aden's historic role as a center of commerce, culture, and coexistence.
Minister of Youth and Sports Naif Al-Bakri discussed with the head of the Rehabilitation and Reform Authority, Dr. Abdulsalam Ali, plans to launch sports, youth, cultural and educational programs for inmates in correctional centers. Al-Bakri reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to supporting activities that promote positive behavior, develop inmate skills and prepare them for successful reintegration into society after completing their sentences. The Rehabilitation and Reform Authority outlined the priority needs, including facilities and resources to ensure the long-term implementation of the programs. The two sides agreed to establish a joint working team to develop an implementation plan, set priorities, and coordinate the delivery of sustainable rehabilitation initiatives across correctional centers.
In development efforts, Lahish Governor Murad Al-Halimi discussed with the Danish Refugee Council ways to expand humanitarian and development programs across the governorate. Meeting a DRC delegation led by Aden Office Director Bashar Aboud, Al-Halimi called for shifting support toward larger, sustainable projects that address long-term development priorities rather than short-term initiatives. He emphasized the importance of investing in productive sectors, particularly agriculture, to create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and help reduce economic displacement. The governor also praised the Council's humanitarian contributions and reaffirmed the local authorities' commitment to facilitate its work.
In Shabwa, a training course on the use of artificial intelligence in journalism has been inaugurated, bringing together 20 journalists to strengthen digital media skills. Organized by the Ghana Foundation for Rights and Media in partnership with the Frederick Ebert Foundation's Yemen office, the three-day program combines practical and theoretical training on integrating AI into news production, content creation and fact-checking. Speaking at the opening, Shabwa Local Council Secretary General Abdurrabbu Heshla said the course reflects the growing importance of artificial intelligence in modern digital media, urging journalists to use the technology responsibly to improve professional standards and content quality. Ghana Foundation Director Ali Bahaj said the program aims to equip journalists with practical AI skills that keep pace with the rapidly evolving media landscape, while Frederick Ebert Foundation Yemen Office Director Mansour Jaya reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting responsible innovation and capacity building in Yemen's media sector.
Yemen signed a new agreement with New York's Metropolitan Museum of Art to expand cooperation in protecting and preserving the country's archaeological treasures. Yemen's ambassador to the United States, Jamila Raja, signed the third temporary custodial agreement with the museum's director, Max Holland, following the voluntary return of 2 Yemeni antiquities by a family in California. The agreement raises the total number of Yemeni artifacts covered by the partnership to 18. The pieces will be preserved, studied, and displayed under international museum standards until conditions allow their safe return to Yemen. Ambassador Raja described the agreement as another milestone in bilateral cooperation, highlighted the shared commitment to safeguarding cultural heritage and combating the illicit trafficking of antiquities.
Also in international cooperation, Yemen and Canada discussed strengthening their partnership in humanitarian assistance, economic recovery and long-term development. During talks in Ottawa, Yemen's ambassador to Canada, Jamal Al-Salal, met with Canada's Deputy Minister of International Development, Cynthia Termoshausen, to outline the government's priorities for economic recovery and institutional reform. Salal praised Canada's long-standing humanitarian support for Yemen and called for a gradual shift from emergency relief to sustainable development, highlighting opportunities for cooperation in food security, healthcare, education, renewable energy, infrastructure, and investment. For her part, Turmershausen reaffirmed Canada's commitment to supporting the Yemeni people and highlighted ongoing development programs aimed at strengthening livelihoods, particularly for women, youth, and vulnerable communities. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a good time.
Have a good time.